You had 5 years. If you put a child through school 5 years later, it's like, holy cow, what's red? Can I mix red with green? What if I pee on it? And then like 5 years later, like, this calculus equation, is that like mathematically viable if you were to rearrange it in a interior design type of, could we translate that? What have you done in 5 years? A7S III, boom, worse. I think you had a meeting about it. You son of a bitch. All right, fellas, it appears our lead has dwindled. Canon and Nikon went back to work. They caught up. We were the only mirrorless, and now we have competition, and that's not fun around here, so back to work, boys. Johnson, you better have something. Don't worry, boss, we're Sony. We always leapfrog the competition. We see them coming up on us, and we're like, they're getting close. And we leap to the nighttime sky where no light could follow. Don't worry, I got you. We're working on Sony RAW, just throwing that out there. Beating our A7S III specs, obviously, because it's 6 years later, basically. And that's about all we got to do, isn't it? Sony RAW, huh? That sounds like something we're allowed to do. Does one of the files get sent automatically to my lawyer? Because Red owns the patents, and we're not allowed to do it. Nikon bought them. They're never going to let us use it. Canon made their own backdoor deal. We're screwed. We can never get it. So that's not an option, Johnson. Burn it out. Okay, don't panic. We don't need RAW, technically. Okay, but people use RAW because they can switch their white balance. What if we make a new auto white balance algorithm that's perfect? Filmmakers use that, right? No one's gonna use that, Johnson. We're finished. Sony Industries is finished. I'm going to file for bankruptcy. The A7S III is what killed us. We will never beat it ever again. Canon and Nikon has caught up to us, and they surpassed us. We were never meant to be here. It's photos, we'll make PlayStation 7. We'll skip over the 6. PlayStation 7 Mark II, coming soon.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So we're on the Nikon Z6 III. Your competition, Sony A7 V. How much more do you cost? Oh, a lot more, but you do less. Oh, that's interesting. Turn of events. 40mm 22. Cascading lines. I wrote notes. I watched the reviews. You know, all in all, it's actually a pretty solid update. You know I'm mad at it already just because Sony A7S III comes out 5 years ago, if not 6. 4K 120, HD 240. Basically no crop, 10% crop. Now, 5 years later, we do 4K 120 with a huger crop. APS-C crop now. HD 240 as well with the APS-C crop. Side rant, how come no one mentions it in their reviews? It does HD 240. Everyone's saying it doesn't. On B&H, it clearly says it does. You can't trust anybody. Who do you trust? It's supposed to do it. It might do it. So, well, technically, it cannot even match the A7S III, and that is painful beyond belief. It's not a terrible thing. Let me tell you what they did positive, and then we'll get into why I would rather buy a cockroach farm. 4K 60, no crop, oversampled. If we're being honest, like, do you need more than that, really? I don't know, man. Like, sometimes I go for travel vlogs. Sometimes I don't even use the slow-mo that I'm desperately asking companies to make. Like, I don't know, you're in a small town. It's like, do I want to be the guy that's filming everyone? And probably not. And then, like, if it's just like this cinematic scene, that does not call for 240, so I get it. Okay, so now we're not cropping 4K 60. That's not bad. It's not terrible, even though Canon R6 III also doesn't crop 4K 120. So it's like they leapfrogged your ass, Sony. You're letting frogs jump over your ass. But the cool thing is I don't mind these crops now in slow-mo. So picture this. You're vlogging with your Zeiss Batis 18mm 2.8. You're happy, you're wide, new Sony stabilization, you're cool. And then you do a little 4K 120, punches in a notch to 27mm-ish. You're a street videography action. That's not bad. And HD 240, I think, has the same crop. If it even exists, nobody can confirm or deny. So I'm just speaking from someone who would use this camera as a travel vlog option. I've been using the Nikon Z6 III with the 26mm 2.8, as well as the Canon R5 II with the 28mm 2.8. And those are both beautiful options. I have several videos coming comparing them both because I just took 2 trips with each setup. So like those are really cool. So I would be using that, okay, replacing that, we get Zeiss lens, wider. Here's why the cockroach farm comes in to take that camera out of my life forever. You're heavy. You're not light. 695 grams, that's basically what the A7S III weighed. So we're coming back to ZVE1 is still Sony's best camera. That's a bitch, because that thing 493 grams, 200 grams lighter than this A7V, and it has better specs. Technically, 4K 120, 10% crop. So like a travel option with the Zeiss Batis 18mm, it was already heavy. It's over 800 grams. Now that thing would be 950 plus. It would actually be over a kilogram for that setup, whereas Nikon ZR with this 26mm lens that's back there would be like 790 grams or so. So like super lightweight. What are we doing? Even my R5 II with the 28mm 2.8 would be lighter than anything you could do. With pop. We're talking about lenses with pop. Don't tell me about your stupid kit lens or some Sony Prime. Oh my God, 24mm 2.8. You wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe how flat it is. Your flat-chested mom gave birth to you and she regrets every moment of it. They actually advertised S-Cinetone in there as a feature. They were like, you wouldn't believe this. Matching the FX3 color science. That's a fault. That's a red zone, cross it out type of thing. You didn't work on your color science. The biggest thing, the only thing Sony needed to do, because every company pretty much good enough autofocus, the specs are high, they're way more than we need. It's just the look now, differentiating. Why wouldn't you work on a Sony RAW type of thing, new color science, S-Log 4 with super dynamic range? You did nothing in that ballpark. You just went with the basics. And now your Sony clinical results, everything's oversampled and sharp, in focus. You improved the autofocus, like you needed to work on that. I'm not seeing like reasons to have, even though it's a solid update, it seems like the IBIS is better, although in some reviews it didn't look good at all. Gerald, for whatever reason, Gerald's review was like a gimbal on all levels. It was like, wow, that, and he's like, I'm jogging now, and it was like a gimbal. I'm like, what? Whereas Julia Trotty was just vlogging and it was unusable, basically. And I'm like, why the dichotomy? That's how you say that. What's the truth? So like one said it's amazing, the other showed that it isn't, but it appears, even though Sony has the tiniest mount in the business, they found some wiggle room for that sensor to move around somehow. The biggest flaw of this Nikon camera is the IBIS. It's shaky, it's not good. So like to think that Sony has better IBIS, it's embarrassing to be a Nikon user. That's the reality. So it looks like Sony with at least the active stable 10% crop, it's like quite good. It was not good on my ZVE1. For some reason it was crippled in that camera. Active stable was not good, but dynamic was okay. But now you're APS-C. But that to me is the biggest upgrade from this camera. I don't care about the other oversampled stuff and your faster shutter roller blade action. No waveforms, that's a bitch. No false color, you're stupid. You're heavy. The better screen, tilts up, yeah, cool, I don't really care, but yeah, that's the screen to go to. It's not as big as the Nikon ZR screen. You suck. So it's like, compared to the competition, R6 III, Nikon Z6 III or ZR, the ZR is much cheaper, matches and defeats your specs with better color science and RAW. That's embarrassing for you, Sony. But you do have better stable, better autofocus. You don't have access to more lens because you can adapt it to Nikon. Canon, full frame 4K 120, You don't do that. But then they crippled it for no reason and have HD 180 only, no 240. Zero reason to do that. But that was just, whoops, we forgot. That's a hammer. This is not your show. We're doing Sony right now. I would like to throw this card at your face. Now, the funny thing is, it's a lot more money than the ZR. Even though it's not like the same class of camera, it has no viewfinder. I get it, this is more of a hybrid, but no one cares. We're all YouTubers and TikTok scrubs. We just want to make video. The ZR seems to be the better option, even though the IBIS is shaky and the autofocus is not as good. But really, no one's beaten the ZVE1. Who's beaten it? It's less than 500 grams, full frame, 4K 120 HD 240. It's hard to beat that thing, and Sony still hasn't, and they never will. Like, this might be interesting in an A7C Mark III type of thing, and then they shrink it down and we're doing, but still, even then, the ZR did that already with RAW and Nikon Color Science. So for me, if I'm being honest with myself and I'm looking at this, okay, just this one setup, Sony, everything, sell everything off, you're too heavy. And I don't like the look of your colors, and you have nothing interesting, it's just sharper now. So Sony, you suck. Eventually, they might come out with the A7C version, and it might be somewhat okay if it's light enough, but even then, it likely won't be as light as the ZVE1 was, and you still haven't beat that thing. Eventually, when you actually decide to beat the A7S III, then we'll talk. We'll have a conversation, it'll be fun times. Then I'll wait 2 years for you to make the ZVE2 version of that. And then, hopefully, you can pray that Canon and Nikon both were blown up by Fuji in the Great Camera War of 2091. So, there's hope for Sony. A lot of hope. I'll leave. What do you think? Are you buying it through the affiliate links? I don't mind if you do. Thank you for the Bitcoin. I'll be leaving any second. What do you think? Is that worth it? Is that a worthy upgrade? This is not the line that excites me. It's the hybrid line. So it's like, I'm waiting for the video-centric line, and usually you still do high megapixel cinema cams like FX2 and all that stuff. And it's like, no, man, FX30, like go home, make an actual video camera. Oh, we have a cinema line. We don't want to cannibalize it. Buy a cockroach farm then and eat those. Loser. Subscribe for more.